Hello, my name is Michiel van Diggelen and I work as an educational developer at the Department of Industrial Design. I have specific background and expertise on what good coaching entails. In this project, we are going to demonstrate a selection of fragments from teacher-coach meetings. Teacher coaching was introduced with the introduction of the Bachelor College. So in this movie, we are trying to illustrate what teacher coaching can be about by showing important themes for teacher coaching.
Well, essentially, it's your show, right? Okay. So, thank you very much for coming. Mm-hmm. So, you send an email with a list of topics you would like to discuss?
Yes.
So, is there any one of those which you would like to start with? Or?
So, I actually thought of some new things.
Okay, cool.
And basically, right now,
So, what courses are you taking now? Business Information Systems?
Operating Systems and Bachelor Research Project.
All right.
And I'm retaking Discrete Structures.
Okay. And how is it going?
It's going well so far. Bachelor Research Project I'm really enjoying.
Is it with...
Another question I had was, why did this university choose to have group projects rather than like semester-long theses like most other universities?
That's a good question. So reason is that software developers tend to work in groups.
Okay.
In the industry or essentially anywhere, and that's why we believe that this is essential. This group assignments. So the final bachelor project with us is not so much a small master thesis, it's not researchy, but it's much more applied. We are not the only university who are running it actually. The appropriate term for this kind of project is capstone projects.
Okay.
So if you search for capstone projects in computer science and software engineering, you will definitely find lots and lots of examples. For instance, Nijmegen.
But for your master's, you did do a thesis.
For my master, I did thesis, but for my master, I did a research-oriented thesis, which is also quite common here.
So what do you think are the pros and cons of doing a research thesis in your bachelor versus doing this project, the software development project?
It depends. I think it depends very strongly on what you want and what you actually plan to do with your career.
Okay.
Our main task is providing society with engineers. Engineers have essentially much more need on practical part, on understanding how the things work in real context. At the same time, of course, if you are strongly research driven from day one, if you know that essentially what you want is to become a researcher in computer science, then of course you would benefit much more of some kind of small research project. It's kind of difficult to combine the two in one unified framework. So that's why what we are doing is this engineering driven final project, and starting from this year we are also introducing bachelor research projects.
Yeah, I'm actually doing that one.
Right? So now you see that...
Another thing I wanted to talk about, which is more related to the applications, are recommendation letters.
Okay.
And I was wondering, when you receive, I don't know if you've looked at admissions for master's programs here?
Yes. So what was very important for me in the motivation letter is the argument why do you want to come to Eindhoven and to this particular master program. Because if I have a feeling that the very same motivation letter could have been sent to any other Dutch university or to any other university elsewhere, then I'm not very enthusiastic.
Okay.
I really need to understand what makes you believe that this particular program is the right place for you. Is it because you want to learn something? Is it because you want to achieve something? Is it because you believe that something is important or not important, and so on? That's make it as personal and as targeted as possible.
Okay. Yeah. Those are the two things.
Good. So how did you deal with your mathematics? Because I remember one of our previous discussions,
yes.
because ETH had quite high expectations from the mathematics.
Indeed.
And we don't really include so much math in our curriculum.
Indeed. So, actually over the summer I went.
So let's hope that it will work out for you. Do you have a plan B?
Yeah, so I'll be applying to multiple programs. The first one would be ComSci ETH. So really focusing on Europe for masters. I think it's the best option. Yeah, those are the four that I'm looking at. I don't know if you have any other recommendations.
Well, it depends. Again, depending on what you want to achieve and what you want to learn, right? But it's better for you to think about specific programs or specific directions you want to follow. For instance, Munich is very strong in all kinds of things automotive. So it's essentially, I would suggest you to focus more on the contents and less on the rankings. Obviously, you have this constraint of the tuition fee, but once you're staying within the continental Europe, it should not be such a big problem.
No, it's not an issue in continental Europe at all.
Right, so that's a kind of alleviates some of those problems. Try to think about what do you want to do next, because your life obviously does not stop at the master level. And I understand it's kind of difficult to think about your life beyond this degree, but do you want to work in a large company? Do you want to start your own company? Do you want to go for a PhD? Do you want to keep all those options open? Because depending on your answers on those questions, certain programs can make sense and can not make sense. For instance, one of the programs you mentioned is in neuroscience. It's great. I can imagine it's a great program, but it is very specialistic.
Yeah, it's. I was also thinking about this, and I'm really open to the idea of doing like a PhD.
Sounds like a great plan. I mean, you know what you need to do, and you are doing it. So what are your plans for the next quartile, beyond applying for
so after applications? Yeah, I mean, just doing school. I want to graduate cum laude, so I'll just be working on school.
You've seen a selection of fragments taken from a conversation between a highly valued teacher coach and a student. The teacher coach was nominated by his students for being an excellent teacher coach. You've seen a student very eager to learn, asking questions, asking for advice, but also explicating his dilemmas. You've also seen a teacher coach who was very willing to help, to provide advice, and to listen, to think along. But also a teacher coach who was bringing in his expertise and would like to give knowledge. Students value coaches who demonstrate a genuine interest in them, who show empathy, and who listen well. Being a good coach is difficult. We hope to provide you with some input to sharpen your own image of what being a good coach entails, and to provide input for reflecting on your coaching experiences. Coaching can be a nice opportunity for students, but for you as well.